A small donor requirement in the battle for the 2020 Democratic nomination has forced candidates to get creative. A number of campaigns have ventured into the world of fashion. They're taking inspiration from streetwear and releasing limited editions to build hype and drive sales. CBS News Campaign 2020 associate producer Sarah Ewall-Wice has taken a deep dive into the world of 2020 merch, and she joins me now. Sarah, thanks so much for being with us.
Of course.
This is a really fun story. So for 2020 candidates, it's not just about getting their names out there, right? It's also important when it comes to fundraising. Give us a sense of this connection here with this merchandise.
Sure. So I spoke to some 2016 campaign aides, and they said merchandise is huge for fundraising. And you look at it as fundraising based on online sales. And that's something, merchandise has been around forever, but you all haven't always been able to sell it online. That started around 2008. President Obama started selling his merchandise on sale. His campaign then raised about $40 million reportedly, and that's just escalated up until 2020. It was huge in 2016. In 2020, though, it's taken on a new role. Candidates need to meet donor thresholds to get onto the debate stage. And so merchandise, people that might not realize, counts towards donations. They're not sending a different list of purchases to the FEC when they file. They're sending, this donor gave $35, which could have been for a hat or could have been a $35 check. This donor gave $4.50 for a sticker, which could have been for the sticker or could have just been a donation. And so going and selling campaign merchandise collects more small donors, people who might not think of themselves as political donors, but are interested in buying something to show their support and are having fun with their purchases online.
That's so interesting. Well, of course, it costs a lot of money to run for president, and candidates have faced criticism for accepting large dollar donations from individuals and groups that might sway their policies. So are these small dollar donations actually changing that trend and that dynamic?
So right now, the two candidates that have raised the most money are Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Bernie Sanders, who are two candidates who this season have sworn off attending large dollar fundraisers. And that's been all throughout their messaging. They'll send emails that say, we are not bought by the billionaires, we are not bought by the corporations.
That's their brand. Yeah.
That's exactly what they're going for. And other candidates have also kind of leaned into that, saying, we also need your small dollar donors. The debate stage requirements make that even more important. They're asking for $1, $2, $5, and selling the merchandise. So it's been something that you've seen more in the messaging this go around. With that said, however, I've also spoken to some large donors, and they say with this crowded field, there might not be enough big checks to go around anyway, and some of those larger donors are holding off on writing the checks or only writing them for certain candidates. So if you're not leading into the grassroots donations, you might not be raising as much money. So it's a huge component for just about everybody.
Wow, interesting. So what are some of the creative ways that candidates are actually pushing these sales?
So there's a couple different techniques. Everyone has their regular classic gear, which is the name t-shirt, the pins. They also have limited edition sales. So for instance, Andrew Yang, he has this math hat that's been huge for his supporters, but he did a limited edition math hat and he sold about 2,036 hours. That comes out to about $150,000.
Wow. Nothing like the principle of scarcity to drive sales, right?
Right?
Limited edition.
Limited edition, just about everything. Moments on the debate stage and on the campaign trail have sold merchandise. Obviously, Kamala Harris had a "That Girl, Little Girl Was Me" t-shirt. That was one of her top selling items earlier this year after she went after Biden on the debate stage. And then another candidate who's used the debate stage to their advantage, Bernie Sanders, sold stickers off of "I wrote the damn bill." Yeah, right. Immediately there was an email that went out to supporters. And then another one that I saw was Pete Buttigieg had a moment where a bee landed on his tie during a campaign event, and he had an interaction with this bee on the trail, and people were laughing about it. And he ended up selling a bee shirt, which also created a ton of revenue in a short amount of time and was sold out. Wow. So they've really gone that route. They also are selling merchandise based on location. Early states are very popular. And as we hit the fall, you saw a bunch of campaigns send out emails saying, we have our fall campaign gear, including sweatshirts and other items for the cold weather.
We are in full campaign season swing here. Sarah Ewall-Wice, thank you so much, Sarah. Really fun story. Appreciate it.
Thank you.